Hello. Welcome to our pre-chat
everybody.
show. Welcome, y'all. Come on in. Let's do a roll call.
Bonner Jones.
Bonner Jones, Victoria, Miss Pat,
Jackie Bird,
Sean Wood.
She was at church today.
She was. I was so happy to see her.
I almost went down there and praised the Lord.
Tanja from Dallas, Texas.
That's right. Our cousin Tamra
from Dallas. Okay.
William Weeks.
We know William will be on today. Who else? Y'all come on. Y'all got to share. We want other people on. Y'all give us some other names. Other names. Deshara usually gets on with us.
Yeah.
Shalandra Kerr.
Sandy.
That's right. Sandy. All right, Freddie, give us some more names that we can call. But y'all come on in. It's our pre-chat. Listen, we got a good show today.
Yes, we do. You know what? Tell me about the show. Okay. I thought you were talking about the preacher. I'm excited about the preacher.
I know we got something to talk about. But I got Gina Neely here, a hometown
hero
girl. She's gonna just be talking about her. Like, it really ended up being a girlfriend conversation.
Does she associate herself with Neely's Barbecue still?
She tells us where she started.
Got it.
So she does it, but we just kind of.
She's real down to earth.
She really is, and has such a bubbly personality.
Yes.
So it's a real easy conversation, and she just kind of, was very transparent about some things. So it's going to be a good conversation. Awesome. So we want y'all to join in. Come on in for our pre-chat.
Yeah.
Give me some names.
Lolita.
Right. Lolita.
Cheryl Howard. Sister Martha Roddy.
Oh, yeah.
Martha Roddy.
Wait a minute. You said Sister Martha Roddy. Okay.
Oh, yeah, got to put some respect on it.
Okay, so y'all are probably asking, why is Courtney and Linda, Dr. Linda, wearing these church outfits? Well, we are pre-recording the pre-chat show.
Yes.
Because, Courtney, you got an event.
I am going to be a judge for the Ebony Man pageant.
Ebony Man?
At the University of Memphis for their chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated. So every Delta chapter around the nation, country, they do a pageant, and then whoever wins at the schools go and compete at the state level, and then the state, and then the national. And so they actually. So you got a judge, and so we weren't going to be able to do our 6:30 live. Well, we just got out of church, and so Courtney is we are wearing our first Sunday attire. Yeah. Now in the spring and summer we go casual, right? But now it's fall and winter. We gird up. And let me tell you, I'm just happy that this is one of the days where I'm happy that my system works.
Okay.
Where, you got to get a system in place where you go and take your stuff to the clinic.
Right.
Have your black suit and your clergy stuff just there. Because had that system not been in place.
I know it. Listen, I got up this morning saying, Lord, give me something to wear. Because I just, oh my goodness. Yeah. But anyway, so that's why we're dressed like we're dressed. For those of you, because everybody's not a member of New Life, so they may not know what we're going. And then all of our audience is not from Memphis.
It's not from Memphis.
So we always have to remember that as if we're talking to just everybody in Memphis or everybody in our church.
Linda, is it Netters or Netters?
Netters.
Linda Netters. I think I just saw her outside.
Oh, is it Netters? I thought it was Netters. I know a Linda Netters. I'm sorry.
It's Netters.
It's Netters? Okay. But y'all come on in. LaShonda Brooks.
Yes.
I gotta call you too, girl. LaShonda, I gotta call you. But Martha Roddy, all of y'all come on in. We are doing a pre-recording of the pre-chat.
So now let's talk about this.
Okay.
Everybody that knows you, they know that you love Oprah Winfrey.
I do.
And so when we asked
Bishop, I never wanted to meet Oprah. I went a few years ago to when she was doing that tour.
That's right, with her and she and Christina Aguilera.
Well, she had different guests on it in each city.
But the one you saw was
Jennifer Lopez.
That's right.
And but they said never meet your hero.
Really?
Because
why do they say that?
Because you may be disappointed. Because what you really are in tune to is their persona. Meeting them, you meet somebody backstage, and if they're rude, they're not as happy to see you. It could do something.
So here's the problem.
So I didn't meet her. I wasn't interested in going backstage.
Here's my problem with it.
Okay. All right.
You talk to us about those conflicting dreams or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Oprah can't put you on her network. if she don't know you?
Well, you got a point. You got a point. That is so true.
So now we got
so what I always say is you got, well, you know, I'm a dream queen.
Yes.
So when you talk about dreams for your life, sometimes you have conflicting dreams, conflicting goals.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is, if my dream is to have my own television show and possibly Oprah,
absolutely.
You know, I haven't limited to Oprah's network, but
that's significant.
Would I not be excited? Oprah, yes, I would be excited.
And if Tyler Perry picks you up, you're gonna meet Oprah.
I know.
So there's a whole stream.
You're right.
There's a whole stream that we got to come on now, get in the flow.
Okay, I need alignment. I'm gonna work through that. But they say don't ever meet your hero. Yeah. But she is definitely my hero, right? And
look, let's go and crucify this now. We know what we like her for on TV.
Right.
And when we meet her in person, we're gonna treat her like she's any other human.
Yeah.
We already know that there may be a whole other person, so we're gonna see Oprah for Tennessee. TSU,
I like Oprah so much, and I don't even know stuff about celebrities. But you know what I know about her that we're different in? She likes savory, and I like sweet.
Gotcha.
Her palate, in that detail. Who knew that I would be that into Oprah? But her palate is savory, and mine is sweet. But anyway.
But speaking of her palate,
right.
Her taste for politics.
So she's been getting some negative press by folks. They're trying to say she's hypocritical, all that kind of stuff, because she is endorsing Fetterman for the Pennsylvania elections. And by the way, y'all make sure you go and vote. Please go vote. I don't care if you just got one vote. Your vote counts.
That's exactly right.
But she's endorsing Fetterman
and not Dr. Oz.
So the thing that they're saying is, well, she's the one that made Dr. Oz in the entertainment business, right? And so they're saying, how are you now going to endorse somebody else? Well, my issue with that is, it's for her. She saw what he brought to the entertainment industry.
Yes.
Her being an entertainment mogul.
Absolutely.
She capitalized on that.
She made that
which
business
was a good choice.
Absolutely.
However, that doesn't mean she has to share his politics. I would think she would be more of a hypocrite if she just voted for him or endorsed him.
That's right.
Just because he was one of her proteges. And you know, they're saying that he has a lot of bogus medical claims. You know, he'll give all of these secret or these newfound, what am I trying to say? These solutions, medical solutions, and they say some of them have been bogus, right?
Interesting.
But what they can't take away from him, that's entertainment. And what they can't take away from him is that he was a legitimate heart doctor. Legitimate surgeon.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So does he practice still? Does Dr. Oz still practice?
I don't know, y'all. Is he still? I doubt it. If
I would
he's in the
imagine
operating room.
But you know, they also film a lot of those shows. Sometimes, like the producer of this show, Freddie, will put 5 shows in a week.
Right.
Because sometimes you just got to go and get it over with. And so maybe that's how they do their show.
And you and I, we're pastors, but that doesn't mean we don't have other expressions of ourselves.
That's exactly right.
But somebody may love us in this genre, but would not care for us.
And we may love people in this genre over here, but over in another setting.
So I want them to get up off of Oprah. Yeah. Now, when Oprah is wrong, if Oprah's wrong about something, I'm objective enough to say, okay. But I just feel like people don't allow her to be human, to have her own desire, own conviction.
And I wonder if she gave money to the campaign, to Dr. Oz's campaign, because you know you can give to 2 candidates all that.
You can, but that's her personal life, her personal business, and
I don't think she had. No. Now you know I don't believe in some of that right there.
What?
Because once we get up to the forefront, we gotta know that a part of being in that place.
Oh yes, she
is
carries
that
a responsibility.
Our life is open.
No. I'm saying, but she should be able to endorse whoever she wants to.
Yes,
that's what I mean.
Yes, she can. Yeah. It's gonna be open, and what you're saying is we know that, but we are the ones who got to keep in mind of that line
line of humanity. Okay, so what do y'all think about that? All right. Okay, here's another thing that I was going to talk about. You know, Dwayne Wade's. This is off subject, but Dwayne Wade's ex-wife is coming for him
Why?
Because he let this child is now going before the courts, and the child is like 17.
To be a different, to change
her gender.
The gender. And why is the ex-wife come?
She's saying that this child, they're not 17 yet. Are they 17 yet? No, they're younger than that. I got that wrong. Okay, fact check me, y'all. Because she's saying this child should not be able to legally do that.
That's right.
They should wait until the child is at least 18, an adult, to make that decision. Well, he fired back at her saying, it's a.
Does he have custody or does she have custody?
He has custody.
Interesting.
But that doesn't mean to me.
Now,
I don't know all the situations. I don't get out into the details.
That she shouldn't have
something to say, and I think it's a legitimate point. I'm concerned about parents who allow their children to make such a huge decision at such a young age.
And we've talked about this before, and I don't think what parents realize is that that's going to come back and bite them.
Absolutely.
Because at a time, we will always have a problem with the boundaries and borders that our parents put on us when we're younger. But we grow to appreciate them. And so we'll get older and realize, wait a minute, my parents didn't protect me. That's going to backfire on them.
I think so too. She's 15 or she's 15, and wants to be a he. I think that's how it works.
He wants to be a she.
Okay, right.
So we just call them them.
Yeah, okay.
And they.
And
for the sake of, let me say that, we will use the pronouns them, they, for the sake of making sure that we meet the ways where they want to be met.
Because for me right now, in this conversation, this is not a judgment against what this child thinks he is or she is. So for me right now, while we're talking, that's not, I'll have a judgment for that, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying that I do agree with this mom that if you're going to legally allow this, it should be when the child is an adult.
That's right.
Mature enough. Because if y'all know, growing up, all kinds of stuff I wanted to do
came into our
that
minds.
just just off the wall stuff that I thought I was thinking through. And I'm just glad my mother did not give me the okay.
That's right.
Because later on I had a change of mind, change of heart. So I mean, that's just us, but praying for them. So I read this article. Come on.
No, I'm with you.
Well, wait a minute. Let me tell y'all again. Our show this evening, Gina Neely. She's a hometown girl. You all probably know her from the Neely's Barbecue, but then she went on to make a success on the cooking channel, Food Network, and she and her ex-husband. And so we talked real candidly about that. We talked about that too.
Did she say why they got a divorce?
She a little bit. Y'all gotta watch the scene.
Who was it? It's always a who was it?
But now she is local here in Memphis with Bluff City.
Yes, Bluff City on 24.
Channel 24. Channel 5.
Channel 5. She has a show.
We're gonna have to get our facts together on this.
On this free chat.
But she's doing it for that. And she has the best personality. Just bubbly, just, and she's talking from her wisdom, things that she's been through. And she has just a wealth of knowledge and empowerment for other people based on, the journey she's had to go through. So don't y'all miss the episode tonight. Okay, so I mentioned this to you before we came on the air for the pre-chat. And the question was asked. Y'all, wait a minute. Let me get my question. What are people wearing to the office? And it said their answers. There was this article. Their answers are showing how Americans' definition of success has changed. So, how do y'all feel about this? Should people just be able to come to work in anything, whatever they want to put on? I am seeing people now in retail stores with bonnets on.
Like working?
Yes.
That make me want to leave the store.
I have seen it.
Because when you work, one of the points of that, talking about the industry, is that you have to wear what you're selling, and you have to look like the people we're trying to sell to in that industry.
I need there to be a distinction between me, the consumer, and you, the professional. Even if you're not wearing the clothes, I want it to be that I've walked into an establishment that I understand. Now, if you're working for Foot Locker, Nike, I get that because it's a athletic store. But
I'm sitting here thinking to myself, Lord, I'm trying to stay encouraged on this clothes situation.
Ooh, what is happening to us? What do y'all think about that shit? I'm not talking about if you work for an athletic store, anything like that. We get it.
And
right?
LaShonda is on here. She works in HR.
Right.
So LaShonda, very interested in what your thoughts are down there at the bottom.
And you and I talked about, in an effort to, I think in an effort to appease you millennials, that we will never ever satisfy you all, because I got 2 millennials in my family that I birthed, and I just know they will keep. And
I'm gonna have to ask my mama if she ever tried to satisfy me. I don't think she did. I really don't, because my mama was that mama that was like, I'm not doing it. I am not changing. My mama.
And what my children tried to do was, if you did this, you ought to be willing to do that. And I'm like, that's not gonna work.
They were partners in crime.
Yeah, they were.
And
they would play off of each other. Well, you did this for her, all of that. So they couldn't get tattoos. They couldn't do anything until they got grown.
I want people to come to work with some work clothes on. There is a difference between work clothes, church clothes, play clothes, street clothes, bed clothes, day clothes.
Have we just lost all decorum? I mean, are we just that? I don't know about us. But they are saying that corporations are starting to move us back a little bit towards what they call business formal.
I like
not
that.
Even business casual.
Business formal. So one of my employees this week called it elevated casual.
Okay.
And I don't mind your new terminology, but come on, let's do elevated casual.
Right, because I think it puts you in a professional headspace. Right, that when you just slide out of the bed and throw on a t-shirt and some jeans, and I just think that there's something to be said about knowing what's appropriate in these different spaces.
And here's the thing about it. Everybody is so committed to their own individuality that they can't.
But then open your own individual company.
That's right.
That's what you need to do.
They can't see that as leaders, we have to make decisions for the collective. And for your consumers, whoever. Absolutely.
You're not even doing it just for you. You're doing it for whose money you're trying to get.
And here's what I'm saying to my people. You need this because the place that you want to go next,
right,
it's not going to be this right here.
Absolutely.
And because there's some places and spaces that ain't questioned. You can't walk off into this place dictating how this gonna be over here.
And people judge you by what they see before you get a chance to say anything, right? So I do know the Google man. What's the man? Some of these that we have.
Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg is Facebook.
Yeah.
Meta.
Yeah. So I know some of them ushered this in, right? So they started their own company, and they have a right. When you start your own company, you can do it that way. But when you work for my company, I think you ought to
what I need right here.
But I just want us to have different spaces, and not just throw it out in one space and be out. You ought to want more color and balance to your own life.
Yes.
To have sometimes anyway.
Because there is a correlation between how you look and how you perform.
And how
everything
you feel
is not
about,
and how you feel. Everything is not, and I understand this is comfortable for me and I'm coming to grind. That's fine if you're just gonna be up in your space. Yeah. But when we're coming into spaces with other people, and here's the thing, here's what I'm not giving up. And I mean no harm. Dr. Linda and nobody else.
What you not giving up?
I ain't giving up my years. I have to say this the right way.
I'm listening. I'm on the edge of my seat.
I am not giving up what I worked for.
Okay.
Which is the ability to say, this is what's gonna happen in this office.
Ooh, I know you're right.
Some things you pay for.
Absolutely.
And you have the right
to say
at certain stages in your career to say this is what's required.
Absolutely.
And when we give that up, that's when we get all that other stuff that we can't rein in. Because in the small things, my voice I gave away. I agree. If you give away your voice in the small stuff,
and I believe that when you're working, I'm telling you, I've worked in places, and I just always have been professional in how I come to work. So I've worked in places where I was not in the top tier, but it got the attention of those who were.
You don't dress for where you are.
You dress
for where you're going.
I agree. And you never know. It may not even be somebody in the top tier of that company. It may be somebody that just comes in and says, wow, I would sure love to have you work for my company.
Absolutely. And your team is a reflection of you. How often do people go to, even with you and Bishop, there have been pastors that called y'all and said, tell me about that Courtney guy. Right? And I have to be a reflection of my leaders.
That's so true. So
you know what I'm saying?
So y'all, if you got these young people as children and grandchildren, you got to help them out a little bit. Yeah. Because they're only listening to their peers, but you have wisdom and you have, age and all that with you. So, and then you millennials that y'all are watching too, we're
millennials and Gen Z, right? Because it's not just millennials. Because the truth is, millennials are now in corporate spaces, like and they are.
Y'all are having to reel in
the Gen Z, who are another extreme. See, the millennials, us, we did not like the systems that came before us.
Okay.
We still like systems.
Y'all like systems.
We wanted to just create our own. This next generation, they don't even want systems. They don't even want to sit. They just want to say, I'm going to do this my way.
And let me come in whenever I want to come in, show up whenever what is that?
And when they hear, here's what's funny. And when they don't succeed, they try to figure out why. And I sit there and laugh to myself because I'm saying, I can tell you exactly why. Because that system that I told you to incorporate.
Right.
You didn't incorporate
the wisdom behind this system.
Come on now.
All right. Okay. On another note, I thought about
because that was soapboxes, y'all.
Right.
Pray for us. Pray for me. Because I am trying to.
And y'all make sure that we're in these outfits because this is a pre-recorded session. Courtney's got an event he's got to do this evening, so we had to calm down. So that's why he's in the collar looking all preachery, and that's why I'm in this black dress. But so listen. I thought about you when I read this. Let's see. If I'm a part of this post called Black Women Who Want More.
Okay.
All right. And it said, coffee only date. He likes you, but only wants to do coffee first date. Yes or no? And I've heard you say you're now doing coffee dates first. So one woman on the post said,
this is good, y'all. I'm getting this fresh.
Yeah,
she's throwing this on me right now.
I didn't prepare him for this because I wanted his raw reaction. One woman says, well, I heard, and this is from a man, that when men do this, that's the coffee only first date, they are seeing a lot of women, and you are just a number to see what they can get for the least amount of money and the least amount of effort. If a man is really interested, he will spend the time, money, and effort. Coffee dates are a player's way of keeping the dating budget in check until he finds someone he really wants. True or false?
False.
Okay, tell me about it.
False.
Now, there were other women who chimed in who were saying they were okay with a coffee date.
I think when I think of coffee dates, I'm really thinking about the time of day.
Okay.
So you don't go on a coffee date at 5 or 6 or 7.
All right.
That is more dinner, right?
Okay.
And so when you start talking about, and now this baby, when you start talking about,
come on now,
being intentional about dating, and making time for it.
All right.
Sometimes coffee is what you have time for.
Okay.
Right.
But is there any truth to not being a player? But is there any truth of it's less of an investment?
Absolutely. It is cheaper.
Less of an investment.
It is cheaper
than you have. Okay.
It's cheaper. It's cheaper to go on coffee dates than it is because I've gone on dates where I
because you don't really know
on number 1 date and didn't even like the person. a huge investment.
Yeah.
That
is somebody that you may not even talk to.
I may not even go back again.
Wow. Okay. So do you pay for the coffee?
Yes.
Okay.
If it is a date, and particularly not the first few dates.
Well, see, if you just say let's go for coffee, is that a date?
If you say let's go for coffee, it maybe.
Okay.
Because you may be dating in your arena with a lady who is a coffee girl.
Okay.
If she likes coffee and goes to coffee, it's a thing that you do in that demographic. Y'all going for coffee. It means something to go for coffee.
Okay, what do y'all think? Is it coffee? How do you feel about a guy saying, let's go for coffee as a date? All right. You know, I'm still of the mind that we've gotten so far away from my understanding and my idea of dating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just didn't know what a date was that didn't take me out like for a dinner or a movie or a something. So I know this is a new day.
You said something made me think of something.
I know this is a new day, and we're doing different things now. But you know, a date where we just driving around in a car.
No, that doesn't work for me.
I just don't even.
And then just riding around in a quiet car, and we just ain't gotta talk. We could just listen.
I don't
even know you yet like that.
See, because you know, so me dating has a progression.
Yeah.
That we're gonna meet and we're gonna have some phone conversations first. That way we're not put in a, face to face.
Yeah.
And then
coffee is that. Coffee is a part of the progression.
Okay.
So that's light.
Okay.
And this is what I was gonna say. Sometimes you got to go ahead and say coffee so that when women come to dates, they will marry you in their mind on the first date.
Oh, we gotta hope. Okay, can I next pre-check?
Because that's the other piece right there.
Can we have a talk about that? Because did y'all know that next Sunday is our last Sunday for the season? Next Sunday is our last Sunday.
And what's that show?
So KJ wanted to come on and interview
me. Oh, good.
But I may have to have you both on because we got to talk about these women who marry you on the first date. Mm-hmm. So we may
we have to manage that. We have to manage making sure that even at the beginning, we're not coming in saying that this is marriage.
Okay. I get you.
You know, and I think we have a responsibility for that because I see as I'm dating, I honestly see how men can take advantage of women.
Oh yeah.
I honestly see it.
I think that's a problem. That women don't see how they're putting themselves out there to be taken advantage of.
And when you start talking about these men who listen,
it's easy.
It don't take much. It don't take much. And it ain't all our fault. It ain't all our fault.
You're giving them all the information. You're giving this man all the information to take.
And if he ain't a godly man, he ain't got no reason to be committed to not take advantage of you. Because he got to be a commitment to God. It's got to be something else. Because all this stuff is coming.
Okay. All right. Well, listen.
When it's getting cold, it's cuffing season, all this kind of stuff. I'm telling you now, the conversation I have with myself is do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
Do the right thing. My friend Kanisha says, keep your night silent and holy.
Keep it.
Not just. I said, I said, can they have some noise? She said, if it is noise, it don't need to be unholy. But anyway, yeah.
So listen, we got a great show for you this evening. It is my conversation with Gina Neely, a hometown girl. You may have known her if you're from Memphis. You know her from the Neely's Barbecue. But if you're not from Memphis, and even in Memphis, you know her from the Food Network. She had a show down home cooking with the Neelys, and now she's back local and doing Bluff City. Bluff City, what? Bluff.
Channel 5.
Channel 5, right? But y'all tune in. Hope you've enjoyed our pre-chat. We are dressed like this, ladies. Just in case you are late to the show, we're dressed like this because we're doing a pre-recorded session, pre-chat because we had Courtney had something to do, and this is how we dress on the first Sunday in the fall and the winter. All right.
Y'all go on over. And I know we about to go out, but y'all keep Freddie and her family in prayer. Right. Because y'all know she's behind the scene often. She had one of the younger uncles of her family to pass away unexpected.
And her mom is a great supporter of our show.
Great supporter. So Mama, we're praying for you and the family, and definitely there to support you all.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
All right.